And for my next trick, I will make a fat man appear out of a hat. A la Kazam! Man, I am good. Anyways, time to continue on to our second level here in Sparkle Land. Now we finally get a level that has the ever-so-clever title, Pecan Sands. Yeah, it's not that clever, but anyways, we're going to start off by kinda sequence breaking. The reason I say kinda is because I'm pretty sure you are supposed to do this, since it's the red switch and that is the first treasure. And as you'll see in our locked hatch here, we get the first Spriteling. And these old guys sure are annoying. They're palette swaps of our old magnet enemies from the second level in the third world. But our first locked hatch here is the easiest one. Get ready for Pecan Sands to have some of the most annoying locked hatches in pretty much the whole game. You'll see what I mean later, especially. This one's definitely the more easy of the bunch. Okay, when I actually do it properly. We're gonna levitate on up to our first prize. Now, I know you can hear that Spriteling, but he is, in fact, beneath us. Not as in he's too unimportant for us to get, but he's quite literally beneath us. Yeah, the Scorper is the guy we tried to use for ground pounding first, but we ended up getting hit. Yeah, you have to run off the edge after you get the Spriteling. There's no other way to get out of here, which is why it's good to get both the Diamond and the Spriteling in one go. Our palette swap enemies here are mummified. Literally every single enemy is mummified. That is a palette swap, at least. There are a couple unique enemies to this level that aren't really mummies at all. Not exactly sure. I can't tell by their body type exactly what they are supposed to be mummified versions of, if they're just mummified Bagons or and the Triceratopses or what, but that is of no importance to us. We have our first regular hatch here. And this one's pretty cool, actually. Check this out. It's something that looks really complicated at first, but it's actually quite simple, and the outlook is really cool. Stone Cold Statue. We will get to him much later. You may have noticed by this point that this level is not, in fact, very linear. It is quite the opposite. Since it is a pyramid level, we are going straight up. And missing jumps to treasure chests as frequently as we can, but that's okay since we need this yellow switch over here. And coming up here is another sequence break thing we can do. If you watch the speedrun of this, you'll see what I mean. The 100% speedrun. Any percent doesn't get all the treasures, but... yeah, you can jump back up here, but if you go down this pathway to the left, there'll be a crystal tower. So if we jump at the right time... okay. Yeah, you have to be on the ledge and walking around, otherwise you'll have to fight him right away. That's the first instance of doing that. There's another one that is actually coming up fairly soon. And don't worry, we can get up here. For whatever reason, it's a shorter jump. These little sand spouting things can be annoying, but we're gonna try to stay grounded. Yeah, pretty much just like that. Not only do they keep a continuous stream of sand going, but they also kind of blow you off. I guess the sand going is how you're moved. I always thought it was just wind, but... and here in... oh, okay, I was a little close. Here, in fact, is the other area where there's the blue crystal tower, so if we don't step on that little indent there, we will not fight him. Easy cheesy, right? Whoa, that was a neat little trick. Get used to glue globes falling out of sand falls, I guess they would be. And I used to think that this replacement for the cannon enemy was a Sphinx-like statue, but it was just a mummified version. Nothing special. There's an enemy you can fight in that little sand trap as well, but we don't have to fight him either. I just love enemies that you can simply avoid. This one can be a little tricky. What you have to do is get this singular block down on the ledge by ground pounding it. First statue piece is always important too, though. When you ground pound it, you can hit it either across the room, one way or the other. It's where the other two groupings of blocks are. And here's a little nifty trick you're gonna see us utilize again later. You do in fact have to line them up, top to bottom, and when you ground pound off of that, that'll give you enough height to make it... Oh, okay. That was kind of close. And if you end up going too high, it will give you the animation that you would do if you were to fall off, let's say, in one of the locked hatches. And Wario will literally go, wee! So, that's something you, of course, want to avoid. Well, of course, the one chest I'd want to get a garlic piece from would give me a frickin' bomb, thanks. I don't know if that would have blown us off or not, but just in case, I decided to stand my ground a little bit, as they say. Gotta say, I'm not really getting the vibe of pyramid, sand world with this music. I mean, it's groovy music to be sure, but I don't know. Could use a little more ethnic vibe to it, I suppose. Now, these fine enemies are called laser jigglefish. Seriously. They shoot out lasers and they look like jellyfish and they jiggle a lot, so it makes sense to me. As you could probably tell, the way you had to beat them was by ground pounding or smacking them on their underside, which is their more vulnerable part. Out of context, that could sound very perverted, but don't think on that too long. And yeah, you don't have to climb back up other walls when you have glue globes going down like that. So this is our first instance of the Stone Cold statue. This is the only time we'll fight it, actually. There's one more, but it's at the top of the level, and there's a way we can get around it. We are, in fact, going to end up killing this one just because we can't get around it otherwise. But you have to hit it, I've been unclear on the number. I'm pretty sure it's 6 times on the green orb, or however many times. Just keep beating it up until each part explodes. That's what I would do. This looks like it could be a lot more dangerous than it actually is. You're able to jump back up it pretty quickly. And be careful when you get down to the bottom, because there's a battle ring here that, again, we can avoid. We just have to inch along and jump. Okay. Yeah, sequence breaking at its finest in this level. I mean, it's not like we need them all to complete the game or whatever, so... Try to get our Scorpers out here. Now cooperate with me, will ya? Alright, so here's another locked hatch. That can be a little bit of a trouble, but there's an easy way to do it. To jump on these on the edge, and when you jump up, while they're going down, they'll stop. So if you do this strategically enough, you know, see, really not a problem. I at first thought these things would be a problem, because these floating blocks look like they'll slide you off, making you have to jump continuously to stay on, but such is not the case. This is the only problematic part. You just have to keep jumping, and if you go all the way forward, you can jump 2 full clouds distance, so... keep that in mind as you make thine expedition thine self. You might hear another Spriteling. This one, to me, has always been the hardest one to get. Because, well, I'll show you when we get there, but over here we have old blue chest. There it is. Couldn't tell exactly what that prize was. Not that it's ever mattered to us. Yes, yes, I hear you, Spriteling. Don't worry. We'll get you in a second, but while we're up here and don't have a risk of falling down, we'll hit the purple switch. And we'll fall down here. Well, you don't have to fall down, but at least not until you have a good view. There we go. Get another easy hatch over here. I say easy, but it really kind of isn't at times. You have to be very precise. Exactly, you can't just plane jump. You have to get on top and then do a dash jump off the cloud before it disappears. Easier said than done, yes, but jump and land and go! Okay, there we are. It didn't clear all our troubles, it just made them a little easier. Kinda reminds me of having to wait my turn, like we had in the circus level. Reflecting here, I'm trying to think how the inside of these shafts work with the rest of the world. I mean, they do look like the inside of a tomb, but that kind of reminds me of how they looked in the Mirror Mansion level. They're not losing their creativity here. Anyways, you may remember we hit our green switch before, so we're gonna head back over here and get it. We are. And we also forgot one other thing. I can't believe I forgot about it. It was pretty much in plain sight. If you go on top of these glue globes, another shaft. This one's actually pretty easy. Oh, don't want to forget about a Spriteling friend here. Ah yes, now we know about the laser jigglefish. Yeah, you don't want to get hit on that spike ball at the top, so whenever you see that platform come into view, make sure you get on it right away. Other than that, there's not much to it, as they say. Okay, now we're gonna get the Spriteling, so he'll shut up. We're gonna do a dash jump off of the top here, and that should give us enough height to do it. Because it's at a weird angle, and you just have to kind of go for luck. Ready? Okay, we made it. I'll be honest, I seriously have no idea how else to get to it. And this guy mentioned the Iron Cider, who we've pretty much already come into contact with. Pretty sure he's referring to the shovel-like enemies that are knockoffs of our magnet friends, but... Now, coming up here is actually the most difficult locked shaft in the entire game, and you will see why. There's one word I'm going to give you for it, and that is patience. And I will demonstrate to you why I say that one word in particular. So this shaft is huge! And I had to retry this a couple times, so forgive me for not showing it in its entirety, but rest assured, we're going to be here a while. If I don't talk very much, it's because I'm concentrating, because one wrong turn or one jerk of your thumb on the analog stick will end up sending you right off the edge, because it's just that these pathways are so thin and narrow. And that happens sometimes. Thankfully, that was actually pretty kind to us, but those spiked balls can be a cruel mistress at times. And yeah, that Spriteling's not gonna shut up until we get him, so... You have an instinct to want to rush it at first, but gotta remember to take things... That could have been a dangerous fall, for example. Take things slowly. I will give them props for making it a pretty awesome looking level, or shaft within the level, you know? It's very, very intricately done, and don't get me wrong, I think there are a couple ways you can get to the treasures, but we're just going to keep it as linear as possible. And here you want to go off to the right. The left pretty much only leads to that coin. So this is a bit of a risky strat here, but we're gonna jump for joy. Okay. Yeah, it wasn't that risky. One time I actually did a dash jump off and landed on the moving platform. Like, it barely caught me, so I was like, ooh boy. Okay, we're almost there. And you may see no diamond yet, but don't worry about that. We're just getting the spriteling for now. I saved all you bitches. You better be thankful. Anyways, there's the diamond, and dash jump a little further. Here is the entrance. So that took a good few minutes, and thankfully we did it without any hitch. Or if there were any hitches, you didn't see them, so there you have it, as they say. That's our last switch. Both of our purple treasures remain at the top. That worries me. See, that should have been our last statue piece. I thought I was on track getting them all. I'm trying to think of which one I missed. Yeah, if you throw these iron ciders at the wall when they are directly in front of their other allies, I guess, then you're going to end up hitting them instead of the wall, so it's best to kind of lead them away when you do. Okay, there's the purple, and on the other side is the light purple. Ah, the Nintendo GameCube. Just like the system we're playing on. Oh, shoot. I know where the... Yeah. I knew that we forgot this one over here. So we're just going to use one of our big fat heads that clearly doesn't have a lot of brain matter in it to slam ourselves in. Or not. I guess it is easier to use our old jelly jigglers here. The only reason I say jelly jiggler is because I've been rewatching old episodes of Bobo lately. This hatch is maybe not as long, but is in many respects a little more difficult because, well, I'll just show you. Okay, there we go. Spinning a little faster now, going to the right and then going back down. Okay. See, it's really easy in this hatch to accidentally run into the spike balls as you are trying to go across moving platforms there, so... Needless to say, I fell off many a time trying to get that shaft. We're gonna refill here. And the reason I'm refilling here is because this garlic dispenser doesn't charge extra each time. So... yeah, this boss is actually pretty easy, so we shouldn't need full health. Now here's our little trick we could do. We could fight the Stone Cold statue, or we could in fact do speedrun tactics. Saw this in the SDA run for it. Grab the blimp, carry it up a little bit, and there you go. Did I say blimp? I meant balloon. Apologies. Now, I said this boss is pretty easy, and I know I've said that before, but this time I really mean it. You won't have to hear any jazz tunes while I speed up my failures this time around. By the way, earlier I was stupid. This is Iron Cider. And the reason I say he's not very difficult is because he does sparingly minimal attacks. And all you have to do is throw his stony hands at his head. And yes, there are more that fall down, but typically for these bosses, what they've done is... oh god! I apologize, I'd forgotten that in this fight, the camera... Jesus. Apologies. I've forgotten that the camera can actually be very, very bad, so... I'll try to make this quick again, and it shouldn't take too long, to be fair. So these hands can't really hurt you, his ground pound and his fire breath can. But I'll try to demonstrate it here, or within the next couple of minutes. See, you hit him once, and normally what they'll do, bosses in this game, is have a little bit of their own kind of invincibility frames. But here, hit him once. I can actually end it right now. Hit him twice. And hit him 3 times and he's dead. And that's it. No faster movement, no nothing. So that's the boss. Old Ironside. And I had to resist a great deal of temptation not to put in Quincy Jones's theme over that boss fight. Hope some people out there get that joke. Anyways. So all that's left for us is the Mega Boss. Now that we have all of our heart containers, we've freed all 40 Spritlings and have all our treasures. Time to finish our key piece and find out the mystery of the sunken ship. Which is actually, in all honesty, not that mysterious. Oh well, I suppose.